Welcome back to the Tidy Room Hanger. This is Mike, and today I'm coming at you with the Fast Pioneer Deformed Automan next set in the KO oversized version of Magic Squares Minosaur, and it's their take, or their upscaled or slightly upscaled take on Drag Strip and Dead End. So let's have a look at these guys. I did get this at Show Z. You can get yours there too. I actually don't know where else you could get this, but I'll have a link in the description below. So let's get into looking at these guys. Here's the packaging, and you know what? They decided they're going to save some money on packaging and use the exact same packaging. It's okay though. I mean, we're getting a good price, and they're not going to stay in the packaging. They're going to be opened up, but I thought it was kind of strange. BW-001 and 002. That's kind of funny. Anyway, let's get this opened up, check it out. So taking a look at these guys, the engineering on these is slightly different than the other ones because they're arms, but they still look pretty much along the same lines. In fact, in some cases better than the first two. So they put more engineering, more time, thought, and effort into this. So these are a little bit more complex, and it does kind of pay off. So looking at it, let's go ahead and start looking with this guy here. And the head up and down and side to side, it's on a ball joint, and he's got some paint on it. It looks pretty good. And then you do have kind of standard articulation in the shoulder, bicep swivel, hand swivel, elbow to the 90. And you got some stuff going on with the waist, and so this is where you would disconnect it because he's going to be an arm, so that's where you disconnect it. So if you want to, I think it's easiest to plan to just pop it apart right now and then transform them separate halves. That'd probably be the easiest way to go if you're going to just put it straight into the combined mode. So getting down, you do have, well, you got a lot going on with the waist, and then you do have the thigh swivel. It goes out to a 90 at the 90 this direction, so everything you need. 90 at the knee, and some stuff going on with the foot. You go up, down, all that kind of stuff. Now, the way it is though, because you have all this giant chunk right here, you can't really do a whole lot extra with it other than kind of like further out stance. But okay, same sort of articulation we see with these guys. From the back, he does look pretty clean. So they're pretty clean bots. The lower legs are a little more complex. There's more going on with them, but still, overall, great looking, in my opinion, for what they've done. Okay, so their take on the drag strip here. This one looks pretty good also, actually. A lot of paint on the head. 3 different colors, 4. I don't know what color it's cast in, maybe the orange. And so the purple, the red, and the teal are all just sort of painted on. So that does look pretty good. And we got some paint through here, and it's this kind of orangish yellowish color all over, which it looks pretty good. Aside from that, all the paint's kind of gone into this area, a little bit on the feet, and that's also going to be in the alt mode and the tail, and then some on the front. So, I mean, overall, it's got quite a bit of paint for what it is, for the size and legends and all that kind of stuff, and for it being just like a upscale KO. But pretty much all the same articulation. The shoulders hinder it on this one more than the rest of them, but still not bad. I mean, you can get some decent poses out of it if you really want to, so it's not that bad of a deal. So pretty much the same articulation around for the rest of it. I think the difference would be on the feet here, because they are a little different in the transformation and all that kind of stuff. So that's really the only place that you see kind of a difference. Shared parts, I bet you this part here is shared in a lot of them. So most of this articulation is going to be the same. But he does look good. So overall, looking great. I think the color choice is okay. Camera's showing up a little brighter yellow. He is more orangish yellow than that. So maybe it'll look different in editing. But overall, this is turning out to be a pretty good set. I do like kind of the shiny-esque silver there. And it does kind of carry over to match that piece. So let's start looking at a couple of comparisons, because people have some questions about comparisons on these. So the first question that most people are asking about with these guys is, how do they scale with the mainline? And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, they'll fit in your mainline. They are not going to fit in your mainline. They're not that upscaled. They're slightly upscaled. So this is one of the smaller, this Warpath's one of the smaller deluxes. And yeah, this is a little bit on the bigger side of deluxes. but they're even smaller than the smaller deluxes. So these guys won't fit on a mainline Hasbro shelf because they are not that big. They're like 6% oversized, maybe 5% oversized. So it's not like they're massively oversized and upscaled. So kind of some confusion on that. Let's get that cleared up right here. Here they are with the rest of the team, and I do want to point out, so these first two have these giant sections of the car on the sides of the legs, and that was kind of engineered out of these. So you do kind of have it here, but it's cleaner. The way it's done on this one is cleaner, so that's better. So looking at it, just kind of the lower legs kind of contour better and all that kind of stuff, but they look good as a team, they look good as a set, and I look forward to getting the Motormaster, which is also up for pre-order right now. And since I've got it out, this is just a G1 version of a Sonicon, so we can just kind of see where we've come from and where we're going. Alright, so getting this guy transformed up, there's his gun, and we're going to remove that, toss it to the side. And it transforms a little bit different. Let's unpeg this back piece to the shoulders. And what we're going to do is we're going to work the shoulders in like this and collapse that, make the hand kind of straight. And then this is all just going to sit in like so. But you got to work them shoulders in there like this. Collapse that arm. And then we're going to lift this up a bit so it kind of gets in there. So you want them arms in there, and then you're going to fold the hood up, and this is all going to come together like so. So there's a notch right here, a tab in the arm, which all has to go together, and then once that's all together, then this tabs in at the top. So hard to show actually. But anyway, it's not that hard. It's like, it doesn't feel like it all tabs together, and you have to get the arm in place before the rest of it's going to tab together. So let's get that angle. Yeah. Like that, and then like that. So it's nice and clean and tight. So that is nice and clean and tight. Now the legs transform very similarly to the other ones, except you've got an extra added step in it. So let's pull this apart, and so we're going to got to get everything out of the way here. So with the other one, these kind of folded around, which it's still going to do, but you're still going to fold it around. You got to tuck that through it. So there's just more moving parts and stuff going on with it than there was in the other one. So here goes this piece here. Tab that in, and then align the roof. And then this is going to swing around. This goes up to here, and this swings around. This piece goes up. And yeah, just a lot of more moving parts. It's still the same overall concept. It was just like one part. Now there's a bunch of parts. But okay, so I have to pull this back out. This tab needs to go into here. Okay, yeah, I missed that one little spot there. This piece kind of moves in and out. So anyway, here we go. There's one side, and I think the trick to this is keeping this piece in place. That one's gonna kind of likes to sink in. Not sure why they engineered it quite like that. Okay, so let's make the other one look a little smoother. Lift up the kneecap here. We're gonna slide this piece, this side chunk, on a slider out, and then with that we're gonna untab that piece, and then all this is going to rotate. Fold this down so that you can rotate this all over through it, But this back part's going to stay. That just doesn't look any prettier, does it? I don't know how to make it look easier than it is, but yeah. Anyway, so we're going to rotate all this around. This piece that's on the slider, it's going to go around the hand. This is going to tab into here, and this is already starting to sink. And getting this into place. Fold that around. This piece goes over like that. And this is a bit on a slider too. So like, there it goes. This really shouldn't be, it's not really that hard. As you can see, I keep sliding off frame or going too low. But there it is. It's a little bit more kind of tabbing in here and there and try to make that look a little bit more level. But yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good alt mode overall. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. All right, so let's get this guy transformed up and we'll try to make it look a little bit better than I did with the last one. So fold that over the top, and the arms, this folds up, this folds in, and I think the hands are supposed to turn. Okay, so turn this that way, and then the hands fold this way. So it looks clean. That's kind of what you're doing. And tab all that in. That looks good. There's a tab on the wheels that tabs into there. So it's not really like rocket surgery or anything. It's pretty simple, straightforward. The back might not be as straightforward, but there we go. Tab that tab in. Can you tab it in from the bottom? Okay, there it is. It's pretty tight in there. Okay, so now if we're going to disconnect them, like this is where you want to disconnect them. So let's see how well that, yeah, just disconnect them for if you're going to get it into the both modes. That's really the only difference between alt mode. And it disconnects, you don't just pull it off, you have to match it to the T. So it doesn't just yank off, you have to have it to the angle. I think they're both like that. So anyway, there we go with that one. Let's get these legs done. And I think that we do need to rotate 180. Yeah, and then we're going to slide these pieces out. There's a little bit more going on with this, but it's not that bad. Okay, so what you want to do is basically pull the wheels out and get things out of the way so you can rotate the engine to the inside. And then you're going to rotate the spoiler up into position. And then these outside wheels kind of tuck in like so. And you're going to also collapse this. And it's got a little collapsing mechanism in there, so, and then that's going to solidify onto that. And I think that it might make more sense if I tabbed it first. But then we have to get this other piece worked into it, and don't break it. It popped right off. So getting this other piece worked into it, so you have to plug this in from the sides like that, and then this folds over to get that piece, and I think that's it. Just kind of going around and tightening it up, making sure everything is just in the way it should be, but I'll go around and kind of make sure every tab's in, but overall it looks pretty good. All right, so here they are in their alt mode, and I do want to point out a couple of things. First of all, this one, in order to get the roof flat, one of the things you can do is go from behind, and I suggest you use something plastic, but I use this, and you can just kind of push them into place if that's something you want to do, and that'll get them perfectly flat. Now, I still have a little trouble getting this just right. Don't use a metal screwdriver on this thing, but overall, it's a pretty good looking mode. It's a little longer than I would expect. Like, it just kind of looks shorter and longer, almost like a station wagon. But it's still pretty cool. It looked good. They both look good overall. And the thing about this is you're really not going to see these in combined mode. They're going to be separated, so it's still going to have a different look to it, kind of a different aesthetic to it. But yeah, let's go ahead and see the paint on this carries over. So like 90% of the paint they put on this is used right here. Like, this is all the paint, really. That and the head. So the other 10% was used on the head. Seriously, that's all they painted it. And so these back wheels kind of like to flop around a little bit, but it doesn't really bother me that much. Just wanted to point that out. Really a solid transformation. It looks pretty good in both modes, and really not a whole lot of kibble in either mode or like extra unnecessary stuff. So, and that big giant engine block, really fast race car. And on this one here, we do have some headlights, and that looks pretty good. And silver right there, the taillights, and between the windows and the headlights and taillights and the rims, that's all the paint it's got on this thing. But overall, good looking set. I look forward to getting these combined, and the Motormaster should be coming out by the end of the year is what I'm hearing. Okay, so here they are as a set in the alt mode and in the getting ready for combined mode. So I do want to point out that I think it only took me about a minute and a half to transform both of these. These are really simple. These both have some more complex angles. Neither one of these are really that hard. It's just not as super simple as these two. But still, it looks good as a team. They look good in their alt modes, and well, that's important because they're going to look good in combined mode. So this is my look at the Fast Pioneer Deformed Automan. This is the KO oversized version of the Magic Square Minosaur, and we're going to be getting the Motormaster pretty soon with the trailer and all of that, and I look forward to finishing this set, and it's for the Legends scale. It's slightly oversized, like 5% oversized, maybe, if that, maybe 6%. But these are a little more complex. This engineering on the arms, for the fact that they are the arms, and it's a little more complex. It's not that bad of engineering, and some of it makes them look better in bot mode. So that's a plus. And the fact that these are going to split apart and become on the arms and all that kind of stuff. So this set's turning out to be pretty good, and I'm guessing it's just exactly like the Magic Square. I don't know if there's any differences, any improvements that were made to them or anything that they left out that Magic Square did. Looks like it's pretty much one-to-one in engineering. They're just like 5% bigger. So anyway, let me know what you think about this. Are you in on this set? Did you already get the Magic Square, and do you love it? Because it seems like a pretty good set. Like and subscribe. I do have a link for this in my description. This was from Show Z. Thank you, Show Z. Like and subscribe. Try to hear him here out.